What is going on, everybody? It's Stas here. Welcome back to another video. So in today's video, we're going to be doing an overall market update, taking a look at the Dow Jones, the S&P 500, and the NASDAQ. We're also going to be doing a trading update, talking about what I personally did today in the stock market, as well as some stocks and ETFs that I'm watching and looking to trade right now as we're wrapping up this month of January in 2020. And as you all read in the title, there's one stock in particular that I am loading up right now on, and I actually bought a nice amount of this stock earlier today, and I'm going to be sharing with you all what that stock is here in the next couple of minutes. And all I ask from you is, if you enjoy this video, if you find value in this video at any point in time watching this video, simply go down below for me, consider subscribing, and also hit that like button and join our Discord group chat and our Facebook group linked down below in the description box, 100% free of charge. So without further ado, guys, let's just hop right into it and talk about what ended up happening today in these markets, starting off here with SPX, which is the ticker symbol for the S&P 500 index, which you all know, this index is comprised of the 500 largest publicly traded U.S. companies. And you guys can see we closed about 2 minutes ago, literally a minute 45 seconds ago here in the markets, and the S&P ended up going up $3.74, up 0.11%. And despite today not being too crazy in terms of that closing price, the price action we're seeing is incredible, and it signifies the continuation of the uptrend. And let me rephrase that. It's incredible for the bulls out there. The bears out there, maybe short sellers, people shorting SPY, they're not liking this price action right now. But for the bulls, this is great, because on the hourly chart, and I've been talking about this over the past couple of videos, it seems like today we bottomed out on top of that 50 SMA, which has proven to be a support over the past couple of weeks here on the S&P 500. And you guys can see exactly where we actually did bottom out today. We hit that all-time high yesterday, gap down this morning, and we bottomed out at about 33.01, and from there we pretty much rallied for the rest of the day, gaining ground of around, 25 points from the low, again at 33.01, to the close of the market being at 33.25 here on the S&P 500. So to me, this is looking really good for the continuation of the uptrend. Let's say these futures, maybe they're gapping up green tomorrow morning and they continue pushing green like they are here after market hours. That could signify an all-time high maybe tomorrow, or maybe heading into the next week starting Monday fresh with an all-time high. Now, going over here to the Dow Jones, you can see this actually ended up closing red today, down $26.45, down 0.09% at the close. And if we zoom out a bit here to the 4-hour chart, guys, you can see with today's price action, this is looking good for the bulls out there. We pulled down over the past 3 trading days here, and we held that 50 SMA on the 4-hour chart at a higher low, which is a fantastic sign for more continuation here. For maybe, again, like I said, for the S&P, maybe an all-time high here on the Dow Jones. And if we zoom in a bit here on the 5-day, 5-minute, one thing that I'm seeing a bit as a worrisome sign here for the bulls from the bullish perspective is although we did well today, right? We rallied today, we are still trending below this 5-day, 5-minute 180 SMA resistance. And technically speaking here, we're still at a lower high. So for me, just taking a look strictly at the technicals here, for me to see a Dow Jones all-time high, obviously, I'd first need to see this break above the 180 SMA, and overall the break of this downtrend here on this 5-day, 5-minute. But honestly, I think that should be no problem based on the way the market closed today and based on how the futures are continuing to push up here, even in the aftermarket session, with about 5 minutes being about 5 minutes after the market actually closed. Now, going over here to the NASDAQ had a pretty solid day today, up $49 and counting, up 50 points right now after market hours, up 0.55%. And if we zoom in a bit here on the 20-day 1-hour chart, it is very clear that the NASDAQ is continuing its uptrend here after we pulled down from 92.50 down to about 91.70. We held that 180 SMA on the hourly chart. Now we're forming this cup pattern where, take a look here, guys, if we end up, which it seems like we might be doing literally right now, but if we end up testing 92.50 again, this could be a breakup, right? This could be a breakout sort of cup pattern that we're seeing here where, obviously, if we were to break out, the NASDAQ would hit all-time highs yet again, whether that's 92.60, 70, 80, whatever it may be. Of course, we'll end up seeing what that ends up being, but yeah, an all-time high should be hit, maybe even here in the next couple of minutes after market hours here on the 23rd of January. So overall, that is the action here from today. Nothing too crazy. The S&P and the Dow, they were more on the flat side. The NASDAQ was the winner of today, up again 0.5%, which is very, very solid, followed by a nice little tech rally, which we'll talk about here in the next couple of minutes. Now, I want to know your thoughts. What are your thoughts? Drop a comment down below. Let me know any thoughts on the market, individual stocks. Are these markets going to continue pushing to all-time highs? Will this uptrend continue? Let me know what are your thoughts on that down below. Now, let's get to the good stuff, guys. Let's talk about what I personally did today in the stock market, as well as that one stock that you saw in the title that I am loading up on. And I actually built a pretty solid position in this stock already. And that stock, guys, yes, you guessed it. And if you follow me on Instagram, you saw me call out this stock this morning. And by the way, follow me on Instagram. Why aren't you doing that already? It's at StockSurfFest. Go follow me. I try to post call outs there every day, and I'm active in my story so you guys can see what I'm doing throughout the market day, right? And this, again, I called it out this morning at about $335-ish. It's Netflix, guys. Ticker symbol NFLX. And if you watched my video yesterday, this was one of the top stocks that I was watching for today's session due to it pulling down. If you guys see the action here in terms of the price, we pulled down yesterday a big amount from about 340, a large amount, right? From 340 down to about $323. And you notice how on the 4-hour chart, we held that 180 SMA at a higher low, and we were towards the general support of around 318 to $320. And for me, seeing this pullback, right, coupled with a solid earnings report and solid guidance, and let me just reread you the earnings that they reported and the guidance that they gave out. You know, this was a recipe of, pull down solid earnings that I needed to see this, and I needed to see this as an entry point, and I needed to personally enter into this. I saw the opportunity, right? And Q4 EPS, just to give you guys a refresher here, came in at $1.30 versus 53 cents expected, and revenue came in at $5.47 billion versus $5.45 billion expected. And here's the guidance that I think is very, very solid. They guided for Q1 EPS of $1.66 and revenue of $5.73 billion versus the Wall Street estimate of an EPS of 1.18 per share on revenue of $5.74 billion. So the guidance there looks good compared to Wall Street, not really in terms of revenue, but more on the EPS side. And I saw this, and again, the pull down, solid earnings, solid guidance, that was a recipe for me to enter into Netflix. And I'll be honest, guys, like you saw in my story, if you follow me on Instagram and if you're in that Discord chat, you saw that I was getting in the 330 range. I actually missed the entry this morning at around 324. Not that I missed it, but the truth is I wanted to see what it was going to do, because remember on that, what was it, the 20-day chart, you can see that, or more actually it was the 4-hour chart, you can see that, yeah, we were holding 323, but it wasn't fully confirmed as a bottom quite yet, right? This morning we opened up, but I didn't want to get faked out. That's kind of why I waited a little bit on this. And then once we saw the momentum creeping in even further at around 330, this is actually where I bought my first little tranche here of Netflix, ticker symbol NFLX. I bought a little bit at $330, and then honestly I waited a little bit more. It might have been on this little consolidation. Then I bought more at $335. So 330 to around 335 is where I really started building this position in Netflix. And now fast forward a little bit, guys. Netflix has gone from $330 to $335 to $340 to $345 and all the way to $350 here after hours. And me personally, I did not lock in profits. I'm actually looking to swing trade this for more of a longer span. Not too long of a span, but honestly, until we get to about 360. That's my first sell target here on Netflix, and the following one being at around 380. That's not really my my goal sell on this position, but I do think it could potentially get to 380, and I'd probably maybe exit this position that I've built and at about 360, then maybe build a new one at 360 to ride it back up to 380 just to lock in those profits and play it safe. But of course, I'll let you guys know, but that's pretty much what I am doing right now in terms of Netflix. I see a lot of potential on this one, and especially due to it overall here, guys, if we're pulling back a bit and looking at, let's say, that yearly chart, maybe even the 3-year chart, we can see Netflix has actually been suppressed over these past couple of months. It hasn't really been killing it like a lot of these other tech stocks, like let's say Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Facebook, Google. Netflix has been behind the pack a little bit, especially after it took this dump from $250. That's literally a $170 per share cut from June of 2018 in about a year and a half. So we took that cut. Now we're finally looking to rally, and I'm looking to ride this wave, guys. So let me know down below in the comments, what are your thoughts on that? Do you think Netflix is a solid stock? And I obviously do, since I'm buying in, but I want to know what you guys have to think. So another thing that I personally did today is I bought a tiny bit more of Uber, and I bought a little bit of Uber kind of late here, I'll be honest, or not late, but a little bit too early. I bought in rather a little bit more because I'm already in with a smaller position right now, but I want to start scaling back in, and I scaled in a little bit here at 37, I believe 37.60, and you guys can see from there we actually sold off a bit. I was down on that little position there, but ultimately we ended up kind of consolidating around 37.40 to about 37.50, and that's where we're hovering right now. And my goal with this Uber position really just is to swing trade it on the upwards momentum here. And you guys know that I've been in and out of Uber here over the past couple of weeks, and I'm just looking to buy in a little bit on this dip, right? 37.60 again is where I bought in. Didn't buy in anymore, but we'll see if we break $38. That's where I might add the chunk of this position, because above 38, if we zoom out a bit, let's say to this 1-year, 1-day chart, above 38, if we pull out this little resistance tool, we can see Uber may make its way up to $39.80, maybe even $40, which is the next major resistance that I'm seeing here on the stock. So overall, in terms of my activity today, that's really what I ended up doing. You guys saw yesterday I took profits on Beyond Meat, took profits on Tesla a couple days ago. I locked in, what was it? I locked in a little bit, or I'm looking to lock in a little bit here on Netflix, maybe tomorrow. And that's just what, it's looking like right now for me personally. And I do have some cash on the sidelines for a couple of these stocks that I'm going to share with you all here in a couple of minutes. But before we get into that, let me know in the comments, what did you guys end up doing today? Did you ride Netflix? Are you looking to buy more Uber? Are you looking to buy whatever certain stock out there in the market? Let me know down below in the comments. Or are you mostly sitting on cash right now, like I kind of am too, to be honest? Again, I've been locking in these profits. I'm buying a little bit in these stocks right now, putting a lot more into Netflix, but I'm keeping a lot of dry powder on the sidelines right now for, let's get into these couple of stocks, but for maybe these, certain stocks that I'm about to mention to you guys right now. One of them being Beyond Meat. So Beyond Meat today actually saw a correction of about $3.76, down about 3.07%. And you guys can see 135 is a pretty strong resistance on Beyond Meat. We can see we topped there back on the 14th of January, and again in yesterday's session on the 22nd of January. Today, we actually failed holding, or yesterday we failed holding $124.25, and now we're trending again into the 117-ish level. This is not too good, honestly, in my opinion, for Beyond Meat, which is why I think we need to give it some wiggle room at this point, because it's in the middle of this channel, as you notice, from around 106 up to about $125. And based on this EMA line, you guys see this little light blue EMA line, we haven't broken out of it quite yet. So technically in the past 2 days, Beyond Meat is still in this little downtrend, leading me to believe, yeah, we may dump further down here, maybe down to about $110. That could be the next spot we test, maybe 113, which was a resistance from yesterday, or maybe on Friday's pre-market session, or not Friday's pre-market session, maybe Tuesday's pre-market session here. I could see a little bit more downside here in Beyond Meat, which is why I didn't buy in anymore today. That being said, it's still in an uptrend here, in my opinion, right? We're holding a higher low here from the previous. So if we do end up popping and maybe testing 120, 122, 123 tomorrow, that could also be an entry point. So I just want to see which direction it picks, and really that's going to determine where I'm looking to enter into Beyond Meat, ticker symbol BYND. Another one is Nio stock, guys, and I've been talking about pretty much the same stocks here in the past couple of videos, because these are the stocks that have been making me money, guys, and that's kind of what I focus on. I don't like always looking at new stocks, new ticker symbols. I like focusing on a couple that have really been making me money and that I've been consistent with and that I've been able to really track profits out of. And these are like the Ubers of the world, Beyond Meat, Tesla, Nio, Home Depot, Netflix now. These are the ones that I'm focusing on. So Nio today was actually pretty bloody in the morning. If you guys were watching it, you saw that it went down to about $4.30, but ultimately we saw a ridiculous recovery, up from $4.30 up to about $4.90. And if we zoom out to the hourly chart, we can see this is good because we held 440, 450, a general area of support as indicated by this trend line that we actually held the other day, back on the 21st of January. And notice how this is a level that was resistance 3 separate occasions in the past. Once here, twice here, actually arguably 4 separate occasions in the past. So the fact that we held 450, huge. That is huge here on Nio. And now that we're testing again $5, to me, the uptrend here is continuing on Nio, right? And for me to even consider entering a position here in my swing account right now, I'd personally need to see a break above $5, and then from there, $5 up to maybe $5.50. That could be the gap fill that we see here on Nio, ticker symbol NIO. Now let's talk about some Chinese stocks. I've been getting some questions here, guys, about Chinese stocks, two in particular, Alibaba and JD. And if you guys have not been in tune with what's been going on in China, honestly, I haven't really been in tune with this new virus that's been outbreaking called the coronavirus, but that's what's been going on there, guys, and that's kind of what's been dragging down this Chinese stock market. And some may argue that, or the Chinese stocks rather, and I'm sure the whole Chinese market in general, and some may argue that it dragged down the S&P 500 this past day and a half, but I'm not sure how it affected the U.S. markets. But all I know is it affected that coronavirus outbreak. It affected Alibaba and JD.com and a bunch of other Chinese stocks. And the one that I'm interested in, you guys can see it here, is Alibaba. And on the 4-hour chart, you can see this is one of the biggest corrections that we've seen in Alibaba in the past couple of months at this point. I'd say since the correction we saw in the beginning of September heading into October. This is the biggest correction we've seen. From 230 down to about 218, that's opened up a nice 5 to 6% potential for profit here on Alibaba. And the fact that we are holding this 180 SMA on the 4-hour chart, that is a good sign that it does want to maintain this uptrend here. But again, this coronavirus, the pressure Chinese stocks are seeing right now, this is a bit worrisome for me, and kind of the reason why I didn't buy any BABA quite yet, but I'm still looking at it. I'm still considering it. Hopefully, not that this Chinese virus is going to blow over, but we'll see if the stock market, the stocks themselves blow over, right? Or rather, investors out there continue buying the stock and the news itself of the coronavirus stops affecting the stocks. That's kind of what I'm seeing or waiting to see here with Alibaba and, again, a bunch of these other Chinese stocks. And if we go to JD, which is an e-commerce play, didn't get hit as much as Alibaba. Actually, let me double check that. Nope, it didn't. This is down about 3% from its high, and it seems like it's already continuing its uptrend based on this 50 SMA hold on the 4-hour chart. So this is a good sign, but again, it's risky, guys. I'm not sure how this virus will continue affecting these markets, but it's worth watching due to how hot the markets, the Chinese markets that is, have been in general since the Chinese and USA trade war has kind of been fizzling out, right? We came to a phase 1 agreement. Ever since then, the stocks have been running. So I'm looking at this dip as a potential buy, not really for JD, honestly, more for Alibaba, ticker symbol BABA. So let's get through a bunch of other ones here, guys. 3 more before I do end off this video. One of them being Boeing, ticker symbol BA. And Boeing has been one that, take a look at this drop, guys, and we called this out. And you know this if you've been following this video. We talked about the videos. You guys know that 330 has been a very strong support. And I mentioned how if 330 breaks, guys, watch 317, watch $300 or 315-ish and $300. And what happened? We dumped, we broke 315. What happened? We went straight to $300. Now we're testing 315 again. And with today's price action being up almost 3%, $9 on the day, we actually closed above 315, which is a good sign here. So for me, Alibaba, honestly, this kind of setup is not what I normally trade. I'll be completely honest with you guys, and you know this, right? I like buying into uptrending stocks, buying in on momentum, right? But here, we're not really seeing, sure, we're seeing a bit of momentum here, but overall, it's still in a downtrend. And honestly, this is not what I normally trade, but there is an opportunity, I think, from 315 for a potential fill back up to $330, putting us under that 180 SMA. I think that is very, very possible here on Boeing, especially since we're seeing that 50 SMA break on this hourly chart. And if we zoom in a bit on the 5-day, 5-minute, we can also see it's breaking the moving averages on this time frame as well. So watch Boeing just from 315 and 330 330. I think there's a lot of potential there. Ticker symbol BA. So 2 more stocks here, Target being one of them. Not too much to say. We know at this point, or most of us know, and I've been talking about this on these videos, that Target has seen a correction due to their holiday sales disappointing. I believe the growth came in at 1%, I really forget. But the sales, they were not too good, right? They were not too good compared to last year. I believe their holiday sales grew 5%. I think that's what it was last year. But this year, they only grew 1% or something close to that in terms of the metrics. And the market did not like that. You can see it tanked from 123 down to about 113. Now it seems like we are bottoming out at about 115 with a nice close today. So I think despite this negative news, maybe it blows over. Maybe the investors, traders out there, the market starts buying up this dip on Target, and it seems like they already are. So for me, I'd like to see some further push here, maybe into the 116s, 117s, but generally speaking, this is the area I'd personally consider a position. 116, 117, maybe into 118s, and maybe even in the low 120s. That's where I'd buy, maybe the last couple of shares of my position, right? And let's say from 118 up to 130, guys, that's no joke of a profit. That's 10% potential here on Target. So definitely worth watching. And the last one is going to be Facebook, guys. Facebook's one of those stocks that I really feel like, based on the price action here, Facebook investors, traders, people out there involved with Facebook, they're waiting to see what these earnings are going to be. And you can see that because take a look at the consolidation here over the past, since the 10th of January, guys. That's been about, 2 weeks here? Facebook's been consolidating between 218 to 220. No joke. You can see it here on the chart. And their earnings are coming out, I believe, on the 28th. Let me double check that for you all. Maybe the 29th, actually. Yes, the 29th, 4 p.m. Central Standard Time. And people have been asking me, Stas, what are your thoughts on their earnings? Should I buy them before earnings? And first and foremost, guys, don't ask anyone or don't ask me whether or not you should buy a stock, right? That's not what this channel is meant for. That's not what trading and investing is all about. You're supposed to do your own research, your own, due diligence, and understand why you're buying a stock for yourself and why you're selling a stock for yourself, right? Don't rely on other people for that. And another thing is, I don't really recommend people gambling on earnings, buying Facebook here and hoping that it pops to 230 after market hours, after their earnings. I don't really recommend that at all. And given that, guys, let's talk about what they are expected for earnings. What is expected for earnings here for Facebook? EPS is expected to be $2.51 per share, 5.5% year-over-year growth. So EPS, I believe they had to pay, I know it affected their EPS maybe a quarter or 2 quarters ago. They had to pay this massive $5 billion fine. I think you guys remember, it might have been this quarter here, and their EPS was kind of messed up for that quarter, or maybe it was this quarter, but either way, they had a fine a couple quarters ago that they had to pay. That's kind of a little tangent there, but I'm sure you guys remember if you are invested in Facebook. And their revenue is expected to be $20.87 billion, which, get this, that's a 23.4% year-over-year growth, which is insane. Their top line being a massive company, one of the biggest companies out there, their top line, their revenue growth is still growing at 20 to 25%, which is insane. So, guys, it's a gamble buying in before earnings. But for me, seeing this technical analysis here, or just seeing the technicals, this is just, I'd rather put my money other places. Let's be honest. Netflix looks better. I think so, at least. I'd rather maybe Target, potentially. The other ones that we talked about, maybe something like Nio, Beyond Meat. Facebook's already at an all-time high. Gambling on an earnings play, hoping it goes to 230. that's just something that I personally wouldn't do, but you guys can do whatever you want. That's the beauty of the USA, especially if you live in the USA. I don't know if I have any viewers out there that are outside of the USA, but you have freedom to do whatever you want. So go trade Facebook, do whatever you want. But me, again, I am scared to trade earnings. Not that I'm scared, I just know it's just gambling because I've lost money in the past doing it. So overall, guys, Facebook, it could go either way. 230 after earnings, we've seen it explode after earnings, but we could also see it do something like this, where it reports earnings and it dumps 10, 15, 20%, which is why I don't trade earnings for the most part 95% of the time, right? So let me know down below in the comments, what are your thoughts on those stocks? What are your thoughts on the markets again today? And just let me know how you guys have been. I'd love to know your thoughts on everything. So if you guys enjoyed the video, hit that like, consider subscribing to the channel, and again, drop that comment down below. And if you haven't yet gotten your 2 free stocks from Webull valued up to $1,400, I actually have an affiliate link down below in the description box where if you deposit $100 into Webull using my link, you get those 2 free stocks valued up to $1,400, which that's a lot of money for 2 free stocks, guys. So go take advantage of that. That's linked down below in the description box. I'll catch you all in the next video. Thanks again so much for all of the support. The channel, it's been growing quite nicely lately. All thanks to you guys. I really, really do appreciate it. And yeah, that's it. I'll catch you all in the next video. Peace out. Oh, nope, that's the wrong button. See you guys.